Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's chat. I'm hoping my volume is high enough for you to hear me. But yeah, so here we are, another week, and I was looking through. Actually, I should introduce myself first. My name is Beatrice Ajayi, and I am an artist. Welcome to my art studio. I am working with some acrylic today and some pencil mediums, and you'll see as I go along, I'll explain that. But I love to have this space where I can share what it is that I'm doing through like my Wednesdays, and I share some of the time with you guys. So I usually start from 12 GMT, 12 p.m. GMT time. And but I always try and start slightly earlier because my technology sometimes doesn't work the way it should. So I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm hoping you can see what I have laid out in front of me. I'll just check that to make sure that it is. Yeah, it's mostly in. So if you've never been to my space before, my channel, welcome. I am based in Scotland and I am an artist, and I love to create just lots of different things, lots of illustrations and abstract paintings and florals. I have different subject matters that I like to cover, and I wanted to be able to share the different inspirations that I have in my space that inspire the different things that I do. So if you look through my actual channel, I have other information on how I produce like my merchandise and different things, and where I sell my work, from my website to in-store spaces. So yeah, I thought today I would share this piece. I was looking through my older work and I came across this piece, and I remembered that I had not finished it. It was a time that I was doing a whole series of other work. Um, like this one as well was one of the pieces I was working on then. And yeah, I never quite finished them. And these are all based on my illustrated characters that I create. So I just thought it would be fun to work on this one today. These other ones were a bit slightly further ahead, and this was one that was an inspiration for some work I did, some work I did that I now use, and it's a digital piece now because I took a picture of this because I really loved the way it looked, and I kind of worked a bit more on it in my. Ooh, Alexa, stop. Yeah, that was my timer. So yeah, I worked a bit more on it on my digital software that I use, which was Procreate, and I did a little bit more to that. So I will post that probably maybe in the chat here on YouTube, so you can have a look at that. But yeah, so I wanted to work on this one because I've done those ones some years ago. So let's have a look and see what I can do with this today. So I wanted to kind of loosen this up. The story for this looks like, from what I can see, I can't remember why I did it like this, but this mouse, because I always have a mouse, or I have different animals that are always with my characters because I really love animals. So this one here, this mouse is basically reading a bedtime story, I think, for this little girl. And it's sitting on a chair, and I'm assuming it's a rocking chair because I love that whole idea of rocking chairs. So it's kind of reading something, a story to this girl. So it's just to kind of pull her out a little bit, see what the background could be like, and just to move on with it. But I wanted to just kind of scribble some things on it. Let's see, got this watercolor pencil here. I'm just gonna sharpen it a little bit. I also have actually a China marker that I could use to do what I want to do, but let's see how this, because this is watercolor pencils will end up blending in, but sometimes I like to just loosen it up. So I've not painted this for a while, and I am trying to kind of get textures in. I love to get a lot of textures in all my work, whether it's abstract or figurative or landscapes kind of, or anything. I like to put textures in to make it look more than it is, and add layers. So this mouse is white. I tend to do white mice. I just feel it's not anything I think specific, it's just that I feel they stand out more on the page. So it depends how obviously you shade the background. If I made the background lighter, I could have a different kind of pattern mouse. So yeah, I just want to play around with this. I'm hoping I will feel free in the way that I'm working this. So I'm just going in and using my China marker to just make random marks. I'm gonna paint over this. So I've got a brown one here as well. Oh, this is a black one. Yeah, that's fine because her hair could be like that. So I'm just trying to get the pattern in. So I'm hoping you can see that there. Got different colors here that I'm going to be excited to use. So the ear, I feel the ear's a bit big maybe, but we'll see how that goes. And what was I wanted to use? Yeah, this turquoisey kind of color. I'm just gonna, so I've been thinking about that, of how to be loose in my artwork. So when I come back in to starting something again, I like to just scribble over it and then I push things, areas back. So I really wanted to use that color. I've got, and these are, I should say what these are woodies. They are like water soluble as well. And they are really thick wooden water soluble crayons. So I've kind of got this all in here. So let's see what I can start adding to this. What brush am I going to use? I have some brushes here. I'm just going to start mixing some colors and bringing out some areas. Actually, I want to warm her skin up a little bit more. So I'm just using some, this is, what is this one? It's raw sienna. This is burnt sienna. This is burnt umber. It's a turquoise color here. I don't know, let's see if we can see that. Yep. And this is like a, it's like a pale blue, a violet blue, and red, orangey red. And it's a green there, chrome green. So I'm just gonna try and start getting some color in here. I'm gonna put some white on my palette in a minute. So I'm just going in and just already bringing in some colors. So my white might be a bit runny because I diluted it a little bit. I'm trying to think where to put it, just a little, because it was too thick and it wasn't coming out of my of the container very well, so I put some water in there. So it's just to work on her. And then I could go into the shadows of this mouse with some of this. It could be that basically if I make the background whatever I make it, then I could always make this a brown mouse actually as well. But sometimes I just go over the colors and then I will paint over it again. So just build in the layers. So I hope you've been having an opportunity to do some creating, some artwork. I love making artwork because it takes you somewhere else. For me, it's about storytelling. And it just takes me somewhere else. I'm trying to think what I should paint this, her outfit. I'm just going to go with something bright so that she sticks out a little bit. She's got a bunny here. So when I'm picking the colors, another thing is that you're gonna layer them, or I don't wash my brush every single time as well, so that it kind of like harmonizes through things. I'm just gonna put some colors in places, and I will come back in and do some additions. I'm not fully explaining all the things I'm doing here because I'm just working as I'm going, so I can come back in. This, I'm not sure I want to put that in the background, that other ear. I'm gonna get rid of that. So start spreading it. So still got some of that brown in there. It's changed a lot already. I'm gonna go into her hair here so that it's a bit darker. I'll put some black in it. So it's got some of that turquoise is still in there. Go back into the turquoise and push into this mouse here. So you can see the mouse a bit clearer now, a little bit clearer. I'm gonna make the mouse a bit more. So there's blues in this now with the mouse, and it's mixing in with the turquoise that's going in there. Add some in the eyes. Right, this is a lighter one, so go up that way. I'm gonna come down here, and I might, let's see, I'll just leave that like that. Cut in there. So I'm just filling this in very quickly. I'm not thinking too much about it. A little bit more in her eyes. What color should I color that book? I'm gonna give it like a green or something. Maybe I should make his book red. Is it a he? Is it a she? I have no idea. But let's make the book. So sometimes the reasons I'm making decisions is to get the colors to contrast. It's not always that it's because that's the specific color I want. It's just I want a difference at that time. So that's what I do. I just add that other color. I'm gonna put some black in here, make her eyes a bit more prominent. So yeah, I wanted to actually say that I will not spend too long on here. Maybe by 12:30 I'll be done with this session. The kids are going to be on their holidays pretty soon, and so my daughter's at home now, so it's kind of to spend more time with her, doing some other things. So you can see there I've just kind of scratched with the back of my brush. I do this sometimes to get different patterns in, and like the textures, like I was saying, it's just the same as doing with my pencil, but with this I kind of get to blend in the different areas of the artwork. So I'm just gonna go over quite a lot actually and carry this across everywhere, whatever, and then just keep working on it. So let's just see what this looks like. I'm just gonna stand up to make sure you can see that. So yeah, I really love how that's looking right now. I might add in, let's see what this looks like with this cushion here. It looks a bit gray, but the color could change later on. Just want to add it in here for now. Just have a color that kind of shows that this is what it is. A bit of brown to get some shadow in here. What color will that color this chair? Let's go into this brown with that same, those colors on that, and just I'm just using the same brush the whole way through this. So add some white and put that as the back end of the chair and this area here. So go back into the blue and start adding some more of the blue. So I've got the brown still on it. I think I had her on a mat, a rug of some sort, so I'll need to come back into that and add some more turquoise, go in between different areas. I'm really hoping the volume is working on this, because that would be very, very upsetting if it didn't, but at least, well, the bare minimum, you can actually view what I'm doing. So so yeah, I really like the way the turquoise is scratching, so you can see some of those colors behind. But I just feel like that whole kind of scratching in and things, it really carries the colors through. So I'm gonna use some other colors. I'll probably need to go back in and add some yellow. I'm trying to think where to hold. So, because I like that abstracted kind of look, I will just... But then I'm just remembering that I'm expecting this to be her room. She is supposed to be getting a bedtime story, so, I mean, this could be the wallpaper in the background. So, but then I just imagined it like a blue sky, so I might use some dark blue in a minute. I'll use some of my ink and see. I'll put some more white out. So yeah, this has changed quite dramatically already. Which was my intent, was to make it not look the same as it had before. And then just scribble into that again. So you can always add more layers, see? So, I mean, it's usually you could just let that dry. I'll work on other areas of her face and things and try and draw her out a little bit more. Let's see. So adding shadows, working on areas like this. I've got my yellow, Indian yellow here. I'm just gonna use some of this. I've ordered some more because it just gives really nice warm colors, which I really like. So just mixing it into our hands, using my fingers a little bit. Really not sure, maybe if that's too much of this color here. It needs to be warmer, I think, there. So coming into the mouse. So you can push the colors in, out. So I could, actually I'm seeing here its fit is not quite right, so So yeah, quite different from what it was originally. I'm trying to think what color I haven't used here. So it's to kind of, sometimes you have to let some areas dry before you can do more. So I'm just kind of going over, and then also for the mouse, actually, probably a smaller, let's see, do I have anything here smaller? If I wanted to get the textures of the mouse in, like fur, I could do really small scratches kind of into it, and kind of like to get its fur in. Then scratch through, and I'm getting some different designs, which I really like. The little colors from behind coming through. So all different angles and things like its hair coming out. So yeah, just different details. I could go into his eye now. I'm going to wash my brush off. And let these areas dry, and then just work on the eyes. Like, just to kind of, it's a bit of green in my brush. But you can layer it and layer it until you get the white that you want. But I love the way that the eyes, when you layer and layer, you end up getting like a really nice, almost translucent, kind of like this movement in it. So I need to use a smaller brush, get more detail into that. So now I'm looking at the background and I'm thinking, right, I really like the dynamic way that it is. It's got movement, and it's to let this really dry and then work in some more details. I might use a smaller brush and get into some areas still. So like just sketching in the chair. So I've not added any water to this because I just want it to go over the layer that's there. So acrylic paint, this is why I love it, because it dries so quickly. So this chair is not perfect, it's quirky. And you can take as long as you want on any painting. So you can decide when it's finished and when it's not. So this color is very similar to the one in the background. So I think I want to change that. So trying to think, I have some other colors here. If I want to be lazy and not actually create a new color, I can basically just paint with a predetermined pink. So I don't know how wet that is. It's drying already, basically. Let's go in there. Just squirted it on. Take some off. Don't have to fill it in. I've just then added something dramatic to that. The book, I'm thinking, needs something extra as well, and a bit of tightening. So that going out. So when there's little bits of other color inside, it's kind of giving it movement. So I'd kind of have to wait to tighten this area because that's a bit too loose. Right, trying to think where else to add. So I like the way she's looking that way, and then I'll do the mouse eyelashes. So what else can I do that's got black in it? So this is how I get texture into my eyes and hair and areas. It's just by scraping things in, really. I'm gonna just wipe my brush, and then this blue here. See if I come in with, this is like a blue acrylic, turquoise deep acrylic ink. See how much I can get on this. And just draw the dropper. So that's that part there. I'm trying to think where else I could bring that dropper color in. Maybe around this cushion. A little bit of like a rug situation going on here, some shadow. Could bring some of that in there. Then if I didn't want it to be this dark or anything, I could go over it with my brush. I could put some in her hair as well. So I'm kind of loosely letting the ink come out of my dropper. So there's some other extra color in her hair now that's gonna add to that. Don't think I want to put any in her eye, could I? And have kind of something else going in there. So the colors will be really subtle. I can go over that again, but yeah, that was quite. I'm trying to think if I should put anything this way, and then some sort of, I'm gonna actually, I'll come in here and do some more in here. There's other tools I can use that I play around with here. I have like this catalyst tool, and I can kind of just drag that and add some very random color additions to this. So I'm going to do that with some other bits. So trying to be loose, not thinking too much about the fact that, you know, what I'm trying to create. Just putting marks down and repeating those marks in different areas so that you can then work with them and kind of carry the colors across, because I think that's the main important thing, to make it look deliberate and thought out. So yeah, that's quite cool. And then using this brush, I mean this catalyst wedge, I could come in with some more of the yellow. So it's very saturated. Bringing in some more of that. I can bring in some white as well. Mixing it on the actual painting. I'm gonna put some more white out. Right. just splash some of it on there, and that's quite nice actually. Because that's what you could do. You could add splashes. Right, let's do some more over here. I can make this go really light here. And then it's like you've got something else going on at the top there. If I wanted this area darker, I could mix in. I'm trying to think which ones I can mix in to do something with. This looks very odd to do this, but I'm going to mix in some of this raw sienna in here to warm this area up. Mix in with the green. I'm going to leave some of that peeking through. So this side now I have added another element of interest. I might go in with the green and some black and start making this side a bit darker behind the mouse. I'm still using this catalyst wedge to get the shapes in. So I just wanted this corner to be a bit darker and a bit more mysterious. The tail. That's around the tail. Can come in and use smaller brushes and things and make this tail a bit more prominent. So yeah, just built up that side. I think I want to add more white this side. I could add more of the turquoise and things. I think sometimes it's just thinking, what kind of mood do you want to create in your painting? And it's good to use different tools because then you get different effects and you learn what your tools can do. So it's quite different from before, but I'm trying to think if I should come down in here a little bit. So around the lashes, kind of playing around with this. So yeah, this has been about, how long now would I say? It's been about half an hour that I've added these layers in. So the more we play with our artwork and our tools and try different marks and things, then you won't even notice how long it's taking you to do anything. Just tap that in and bring it in a little bit. A bit of tap and a little bit of the turquoise, a bit more to get some of that turquoise back in. I want to get into this corner. Could use a brush, but I've just turned that over. Just touching every angle, isn't it? So you can always wait in between applications of things and wait for them to dry. Then it's a lot easier to cut in and be trying to make things stand out. I'm gonna tap a bit in the white and go in here. Might be too green there. Let's just try this again. I'm just tapping it in to try and bring in the blue. So the book got a bit sticking out there. Let's see. So there's like a whole weather storm of moodiness here. Trying to close this side off, so I might make his ears smaller. I feel like it's still too big. So I'm just tapping it in and getting in some of the color there. So I could use a brush, but then this gives you a different texture, and you can play with some other colors, tapping into the yellow, bring in some more yellow, some white, and then it makes that a bit more different. So it's like having clouds in the middle of this whole environment, and this side as well, so it kind of will bring her out a bit more. A bit more of the turquoise. But you can take your time and play with whatever you're creating like this, just using different tools. These catalyst wedge, you can get them on Amazon, or so they have different kind of catalysts wedged in the family. So this is one as well where you can use to kind of scrape your designs on. And then I have this one, and I have some other ones that are somewhere here on my table. I think I've moved them around a little bit. Should be able to find them. They're different shapes, and they're really good for, oh yes, I've moved it over there because I was using it for another painting, but they've got different shapes that you can use to scrape and get different, you know, all sorts of designs for your artwork. So I'm gonna come back in here, and I really feel like I want to make this, like the ear a bit smaller, but let's see. I'm gonna stand up and see what it looks like. It's really big. Maybe I should leave it. So I'm gonna come in here and with the turquoise and some black, maybe cut into this a bit more, so it's like a bit of a gray. Just trying to see. I'm just gonna cut into it because it's not working for me. So see how different that looks already, because it's a smaller ear. So I'm gonna come back in and make it a bit more kind of like it's joined a bit more. Let's see if I come back. I probably should wait till it dries because it's not really happy at the moment. So it's changed quite a lot. So this was supposed to be, let's see. So I think it's to let it dry, and then I could have added some more details in other areas as well. So if I wanna, like here, just add more colors, build it up. And then this is like I might add some more yellow to get this to be a bit more bright, because it's bright, but I think I want some more brightness. See, so when you add the yellow into this red orange, it just gets better. And she has a doll here. It's gonna be more details to put in, but for this session I think this will be basically enough. add our arm here. So red. Just gonna paint over this actually. So I just don't feel like it's working for me. I need to think what I would add there if I wanted to add anything else. So I'm gonna try and get her hands to stand out a little bit more. Got the wrong color in there. Probably should wait till it dries. So just add in and add in and build in the layers. And then I'll need to fix all the areas that I think I still have some weight to go. But yeah, it's changed a lot. Use this. So I was using acrylic paint for this as well. And I've basically progressed more than it was before. So here I'm gonna just add some, could use smaller things to actually do these sketches. So the arm, to do the scratching into it. So I'm just gonna use some of this darker brown here for shadow under her arm. So as it dries, I just add more and get the colors. I like more of this kind of a warmer color for skin tone. So it's like just to keep adding until you like whatever it is that you've got. And layer in and working your way through it. So don't want it too dark. So this area here, I'm trying to think for this. Let's try this one for this, basically. So yeah, you're just gonna have to keep adding and getting the details the way you want it. So I really like the way that it's kind of forming. But I'm going back and forth changing things, so yeah. And then the mouse, I'm not really happy with the mouse at the moment. I think I want to go over it with some white. So I'm gonna put this somewhere here and see. So let's get that on my brush. Just get some more. I should really wait till that dries. But wait, no, let's use the back of this to get the dot on the eye for the mouse. Right, not too much. See, is this wet? Still a bit wet. Just my brush is very let's see, trying to mix in some of these colors lightly in. So it's layering again. So and the thing is, I can add, with a thinner brush, I can add more details. Let's see if I get his foot that way, that way. Fingers, nose. I'm trying to think what else I could add in places. So so yeah, just adding more layers and layers and scratching through them. So yeah, I'd have to come back again another time and probably do some more. But yeah, that was fun adding the colors. So you can see where that started from to this stage. And that has moved the painting along a little bit. And working in acrylics, it dries a lot faster than it would if it was oil. And I really love the layering because then you can really fine tune your character. I did way more work on this mouse, I think. So maybe another session on the Wednesday lives, then I could do that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna let this dry. Thank you for joining me. As I said before, my name is Beatrice Ajayi and I'm an artist and I love creating artwork. So please do come along another time and join me, and I will see you then. Please do check out my Friday vlogs as well to see what else I do, and I'll speak to you then. So bye for now. Bye.